But the first statement we're going to go with today, Alex, is that the Browns are a legitimate playoff team.
I think we can definitively say that now. I mean, now that they've first off, I'm going to buy your statement
Okay.
because they put it on a really good Titans team, and Titans are in the upper echelon of the AFC right
Mm-hmm.
now. They made it to the AFC freaking championship game last year, so
Right.
they're at the top of the AFC class right now behind the Chiefs, and I mean, I guess you can kind of throw the Steelers in there, but I think there's just a monumental gap between the Chiefs and everyone else, and the Browns are firmly entrenched now in that
Mm-hmm.
second group with the Steelers, with the Titans, with the Colts. Um, it's just they're a good team. They're a well-rounded team. They have a dominant running offense. They're an offense that's built for December and January. So, yeah, they're a legitimate playoff team. They could beat you on any given Sunday, except if you're playing the Chiefs.
And man, the kind of the funny thing with that is if we're looking at the current playoff picture right now, the team that they actually be playing in the first round is the Titans. So, to me,
Hmm.
a legitimate playoff team is winning a game. I think winning a game certifies you as a legitimate playoff team. And going off of this, just going off the basic statement, can they win a playoff game? Which is my kind of um, way to
That's
answer
your
this
that's
question.
your litmus test.
Thank you. That's my litmus test. See, last week we talked about osmosis. This week we're talking about litmus. We're just an educational show too, by the way. Um,
Tag it.
exactly. Um, but would they beat the Titans as of right now? I have no reason to believe that coming off a win like this, that they wouldn't beat the Titans. So I'm buying this. I'm saying that the Browns are a legitimate playoff team. Of course, they're going to prove us wrong because they are the Cleveland Browns. But we'll just have to wait and see with that one. Our next statement, staying in the AFC, is that the Buffalo Bills are the second best team in the AFC.
Ding, ding, ding! You got a winner. And of course, it's the team I just forgot to mention in that class of AFC that I just talked about in the last point there. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think the Bills are the second best team because they have the best offense out of that whole group,
Yeah.
and I think their defense is on par with the other teams. I mean, I think Pittsburgh has the best defense out of that second group by
Mm-hmm.
far. But with Tre'Davious White back there, with Ed Oliver on the defensive line, um, they have playmakers on defense, and that's all you can ask for when you have an offense that's cooking like the Bills are right now. So yeah, I think they're the second best team in the AFC, and weirdly, I think the Bills have the best chance against the Chiefs just
Damn it!
because
You
of that
took the words right out of my mouth, Alex.
just because of that
That
offense. They have
offense.
they have the only quarterback that I think that can go toe to toe right now
Mm-hmm.
with Patrick Mahomes that are in the playoff scene that are in the playoffs right now. So
Dude, I was
that's
talking about a number of weeks ago. I was talking about one Super Bowl between Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson, back when Russell Wilson was still looking like MVP. But now, if we get an AFC Championship game with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes slinging the football 100 yards down the field,
please
oh, give it to me, please.
that would be awesome.
Just pump that right into my veins, baby. I'll be an addict for that. But like you, Alex, buying this, I was going to say that the reason I'm buying this is because they're the only team right now that has maybe, maybe besides the Saints, and depending on what defense and what offense shows up, maybe. They're the only team that has a chance at beating the Kansas City Chiefs right now. And look at the AFC. What are you saying that the Dolphins are better than the Bills? Are we going to say the Browns? Are we going to say the Steelers? Are we going to say the Titans, the Colts? No. So as to quote you, Alex, they are the second best team in the AFC, and it's not close.
Jeez, that's crazy. The Bills.
Hey, let's stay in the AFC though. Next statement is that the Steelers are the worst 11-0 team of all time. Of course, to give you a little background on this, is that this has happened just 12 times in NFL history. The first team to do this was the 72 Miami Dolphins. Of course, they would go to finish 14-0, win the Super Bowl. Dolphins would do it again next season. They would lose in the Super Bowl. Then we got the Bears next, 15-1 regular season. They win Super Bowl. The next teams to do this, Redskins, Broncos, they both win Super Bowls. The Colts lose in the divisional round. Then with the Patriots, of course, we all know and love those New York Giants saving the day, beating them in the Super Bowl after they go with 16-0. We had the Colts losing the Super Bowl, Saints winning the Super Bowl. So then Packers lost divisional. Then Panthers, most recently 2015, losing in Super Bowl 50. So the high majority of this, they all go on to win or at least make appearances in the Super Bowl. And with the Steelers, I do not see almost any scenario where they get into the championship game, let alone make a Super Bowl. So the worst team on here for the most disappointing finish is likely going to be either the 2011 Packers or the 2005 Indianapolis Colts losing the divisional round. I don't see the Steelers winning a playoff game at this point of the season. So for me, I'm buying this statement. The Steelers are the worst 11-0 team in NFL history. Also, none of these 11-0 teams lost to a football team with no name.
No, that's they are in a class of their own from that perspective. I'm gonna buy this statement too, and I feel like my shopping cart's getting a little full now with all these buying statements.
Shopping cart's getting full, wallet's getting low like usual.
It's just how it is these days. But yeah, the Steelers, I just they don't look like a top tier team right now. It just they look like every other team in that 3 to 12 range right now in the NFL, and their offense is very one-dimensional right now, almost like shockingly one-dimensional with an aging quarterback. His arm fell off last year, so no idea what they're doing on that side of the ball. On defense, yeah, they're really good, but they just lost arguably their second best defensive player.
Yeah. And
Bud Dupree out for the year, so that's
tough. At least you have Alex. I got to give you credit. He's pretty much running away with this defensive player of the year with the Watt brother over there. He's going to win it if he just stays average the rest of the season.
Keep his head on straight for the last couple of weeks, and I think he's going to make me a happy man when we're reviewing those tapes. But no, I mean, yeah, the Steelers they're a really good team, but they're not in this echelon where 11-0 teams are normally at. So yeah, I'm going to buy the statement every day of the week.
Exactly. I'm so glad you're right there with me. Next statement, going with Carson Wentz this time, is that Wentz's contract is a bigger turnoff than his on-field play. Of course, his contract, he just inked before the season a 4-year, $128 million extension that begins next season. And if the Eagles were to cut him right now, he would cost around he would cost the Eagles around $60 million over the next 2 seasons in dead cap.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of money.
He hasn't even started his extension yet, and people are panicking, putting in the backup. I mean, this is bad. This is really, really bad. And this is what I thought was going to happen with that Jared Goff contract, because I just don't think he was that good of a quarterback either. But he at least doesn't turn the ball over and is working with a competent coach that's going to put him in positions to succeed. But yeah, I mean, Wentz, and realistically, the Eagles cannot cut Wentz after next year.
No.
They have to wait at least 2 years, because at least after the second year of his contract, this dead cap would only be like $29 million or something like that. And you're still paying the guy $30 million a year to be bad, which is really bad.
To be the most expensive backup quarterback ever.
Yeah, I mean I don't know what would be worse, just like kind of rolling Carson Wentz out there and being a mediocre team, or having him as a backup.
I think at least make him earn the money.
I know.
Dude, we're paying you this much money. Go out there behind that awful offensive line and just die. Just die.
Don't get Jalen Hurts hurt. Like we're paying you $130 million to make our next quarterback not get hurt by you taking all these hits. So yeah, I mean it's really bad. His contract, if you look at it and you're a fan, some fans that don't look at cap stuff, they're just like, oh, why don't they just get rid of him or cut him? But when you look into it, they are hamstrung right now. They cannot do a thing.
Can't afford this.
I think all they can hope for is, maybe. I mean, they get a better offensive line. They trot him out there, try it again next year, and see if he gets his turnovers down. Because it's weird, because he still looks like he's got talent. I mean, he can whip the ball down the field. He's still decently athletic, but just something's off with him right now. And
fixing the offensive line fixing the offensive line is going to help. But to go back to the statement, Alex, we buying or selling?
I'm gonna buy it because his contract is disgusting, and to think that he would be on the he's just making that much money to be this bad is gross. And the worst part is this extension hasn't even started yet.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the worst part.
So I with this whole thing, I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback. He could be good, but he needs to be in the right situation. He needs to be in the right scheme. He needs to have the right coach. Doug Peterson and that awful offense and that awful city of Philadelphia is not the place for him to thrive. If he was switch places with Jared Goff, honestly, it's probably the same situation for both quarterbacks. We see Jared Goff struggling, and then we see Carson Wentz being good. I really do believe that Carson Wentz just needs a better situation.
I actually think I think if Carson Wentz went on the Rams and they switched right now,
He'd be really
the
good.
Rams would be better than they are now.
I want to believe that too. Last statement of the day, though, is that now on Sunday, Travis Kelce became the only tight end in history with 5 1,000-yard seasons, and he did that consecutively. And with that being said, Alex, might be a little early, but who cares about that? Travis Kelce will go down as the GOAT of tight ends. Buy it or sell it.
I am selling this so hard because there's only one tight end GOAT. He's still playing right now. Gronk is going to go down as the most dominant tight end in the history of the NFL. I don't care who you put after him. There was no other force on the offensive side that was as intimidating as Gronk, as unstoppable as Gronk. You throw that man anything inside the 20, he's going to come up with it for a touchdown. This dude was unstoppable for a 4 to 5 year period. And Travis Kelce's really, really good. He's very consistent. You know what you're going to get from him each year. He doesn't get hurt. He's on a great offense. But how dominant Gronk was, I think, is just unrivaled compared to anything we're going to see over the next couple of years. And as good as Travis Kelce is, Pete Gronk is still the best tight end and what I call the GOAT.
For me, this is really tough because for a while, it's the GOAT is before this season. I was actually leaning more towards Tony Gonzalez than as a all-around tight end career-wise. He might have been the greater player, most dominant player. It's almost like we want to put this in basketball terms. Let's not start the whole tangent with this just real quick. Michael Jordan, the GOAT. LeBron James, one of the most dominant athletes on the court. I think that's a fair argument. But the thing is here is that if we're talking longevity, Gronk, we remember in his later years, he was injured a bunch and he was hardly.
We're not talking longevity, Ross.
We're not talking longevity. To be great, Alex, you have to have longevity. That is the part of being great. You can be a dominant player for a stretch of 3 years, and they can be the best 3 seasons ever. But that is going to make you the greatest player. Travis Kelce he's already putting up these stats 5 in a row. Gronk got to 4 1,000-yard seasons. He had them back to back in 2014 and 15 when he was arguably at his peak at those 2 seasons. But over the long term, Travis Kelce is going to be a better weapon for his offense. He's going to be a better tight end, and he's going to have the greater career. He is going to be greater than Gronk, then Tony Gonzalez, and Antonio Gates. He's going to be the GOAT.
Who's going to have more Super Bowls at the end of their careers?
Travis Kelce.
Over Gronk?
Travis Kelce.
Gronk has 3.
Yeah. And this Chiefs.
Do you think?
I think he could get 4.
Kelce's getting 3 more.
I think Travis Kelce gets 3 more. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes for 10 years. Yeah, this offense is probably going to
say. Travis Kelce's playing for? He's not a spring chicken.
I think he's going to get, if he plays like 6 more seasons.
How old is Travis Kelce?
If Travis Kelce gets 6 more seasons of NFL career, I could see him winning 3 more Super Bowls within those 6 years. I can. I truly can.
Okay, off the top of your head, how old do you think Travis Kelce is?
I think he's late 20s, about 30.
He's 31.
31? He could get 6 more.
He's not playing 6 more years.
He can get
I tell you
more.
that. I mean, I don't think it's out of the question to think that Patrick Mahomes is going to win 3 Super Bowls in the next 4
also,
years.
who says the Chiefs aren't going to win 3 Super Bowls in a row right now?
that's what we're saying. It's like they could win in the next 4 years. He could win 3 Super Bowls, but no, I mean, Pete Gronk is so much better than Travis Kelce ever was. And so when I think of the GOAT tight end, I think of how dominant you were for an extended period of time. And Gronk was just so freaking unstoppable.
See, what we're seeing here is that we just have 2 different definitions of what it means to be the GOAT.